Alright, welcome back everybody. It is time once again. Game 2. Tactic Hive Beta Cup. We've got Game 2 between Team Bob Marley and P252. Now, they've been playing under Tryhard Dota in-game, THD, so you'll call me them both interchangeably. And I apologize for that. It's a little bit obnoxious, but I have no clue what to call them, because on all documentation on my stream, on the website, they go by P252, but in-game, the name you're going to be seeing on screen is THD Tryhard Dota, so my apologies, they're a little bit confusing there, but anyways. Oh, jeez, and we got a name change on the other side, too. This is previously Team Bob Marley. For this game, for no reason, they've changed to No Benders. I don't know, man, I don't know. Whatever. Team's like screwing with me, and so there we go. Anyways, got THD, No Benders, Team Bob Marley, P252. Confusing as all hell, I know. But yeah, so this is game number 2 in this series. This is the round of 8 of the Tactic Hive Beta Cup. Going forward, all rounds are going to be best of 3s. And so this is a best of 3 series, and P252 took the first game rather convincingly and are now up 1-0 in this series. So Team Bob Marley is going to have to take 2 games back in a row to secure themselves a move on into the round of 4, which is the semifinals tomorrow. So this is it, do or die for them. They were the second place team in the Tactic Hive Alpha Cup, coming second to Comeback City and doing pretty damn well. They're all right, but yeah, not quite the top of the pool. Didn't quite take it, but yeah. Anyway, so got pretty similar bands to last game. THD takes out the Slark right off the bat, which they did last game as well, and Ember Spirit taken out by Team Bob Marley again, but they take out Viper instead of Ancient Apparition, and Lycan once again removed by THD. So standard across the board. Nothing particular to talk about there. So, we'll see what they choose to go for in this game. And, I mean, last game, Team Bob Marley went for a pretty, beefy front line with a Dazzle and an Invoker on the back. They had a Dragonite, a Bristleback, and an Abaddon. All heroes that can kind of get up in the enemy's face and just really cause a lot of trouble. And, of course, the Invoker on the back lines throwing out all of his spells, and then the Dazzle just trying to keep everybody alive. And it didn't quite work out for them well there. Bristleback didn't farm too well. Their aggressive tri-lane ended up trading pretty evenly with THDs, and that allowed Viper to get pretty out of control as well. The Doombringer and who was their other core? Can't remember who their other core was, but yeah, they were causing a lot of trouble. Oh, it was an OD. Outworld Devourer, the Doombringer, and the Viper were just causing too much trouble for them, and it just didn't end up happening. The team fights were all going in the way of P252, and they were executing them just perfectly. Juggling damage, getting heroes out when they needed to, popping off the correct targets, focusing teams down, and it was just too much. So they really took the game in that regard, and we'll see how this next game plays out. But Team Bob Marley snatching themselves up that Visage right off the back, so making sure that support is under their name, and rightfully so. I mean, Visage is a hero that you just never want in the enemy team's hands. Birds are annoying, Soul Assumption's annoying, Grave Chill's annoying. It's just an annoying hero. And there's Marana and Nyx taken up right off the bat by Tryhard. So this is kind of a draft that we saw them play in the first game we watched today. Now we've watched 3 games. Well, this will be the 3rd. And in the very first game that we watched in the round of 16, they played that Marana on a 1 position, drafted the Nyx for the off lane, and then they picked up 2 more supports to help out that Marana. I believe it was a Shadow Shaman and I don't recall. Shadow Shaman and someone else. But yeah, they had a really it was a Shadow Shaman and a Venomancer. Shadow Shaman Venomancer with a Marana on a tri-lane. And then they had a Templar Assassin mid. So they had a really good draft that game, and it actually I didn't like their draft that much. I mean, the 1 position Marana is kind of odd, and since they weren't going for like really much of a gimmicky aggressive tri-lane, there was really no reason to have her on a tri-lane, and so it didn't work out fantastic for them. Well, I mean, theoretically the draft wasn't fantastic, but in execution they won every single one of their lanes and they just dominated because of it. So we'll see if that is how they choose to run this again. I believe Mirana putting Mirana on a mid lane is definitely an option as well. They've been running Nyx pretty much exclusively on an off lane as well, so I think that's where Nyx is going to be going. Invoker picked up by Team Bob Marley here, so they've got that under their belts. They run it last game and wasn't the most efficient. They did run a Quas Wex Invoker on a solo safe lane against a Doom, and he did all right. But when it came time to team fight, he just he just couldn't dish out enough. He was missing tornadoes constantly too, which was a bit of a problem. But anyways, Doom and OD banned out. Those are two pretty much targeted bans. I mean, both very strong heroes in the meta, and both bans you might see at this stage of a game, but both showed up in last game, and so they really don't want to deal with that again. Juggernaut picked up by THD, or banned out by THD rather, not picked up. But they're gonna get rid of Lone Druid again. Once again, I don't know if I'm feeling the Lone Druid picks and bans here. He's not that great a hero in terms of trouble that he causes on the board. So we'll see. But they do grab a Centaur Warrunner. I really like this. Now this is starting to make me think the Nyx Assassin will actually be on the tri-lane as a support. They've been running him on the off-lane in every single game I've watched today. But generally Centaur is regarded as an off-lane hero, and will possibly be put down there. He can also be run on the mid, maybe even in an aggressive tri-lane himself, but interesting. I don't have a lot of experience casting Centaurs, so I'm not sure what to make of it, but we'll see where he ends up as the draft works out here. So anyways, Lifestealer snatched up by Team Bob Marley, so they've got that in their pocket, and Infest into Visage Bird can cause a lot of trouble. We'll see if they go for something else that can work alongside that Lifestealer, perhaps maybe like an offlane Prophet or something, but we'll see. Lich taken up by Tryhard, so support on the board here, and I'm still not sure. Like I'm thinking this Mirana isn't going to be going on the tri-lane. She did in that other game that I mentioned earlier, but I don't think she will, because these two supports not great at setting her up for arrows. So I mean she doesn't really need it, but that's kind of the purpose of running her on the tri-lane. So I'm thinking we're going to have a mid lane Mirana, perhaps an aggressive tri-lane of these three heroes that we're looking at right here, or maybe even duo lanes. We could have the Lich Centaur on an off lane, just deny and pull things back to the tower, and then clear them out with Centaur, and then keep the Nyx with a... I don't know. Like I said, the Centaur is kind of throwing things for a spin, but thinking either dual lanes, Lich Centaur, Nyx +1, and then Mirana, or we could be looking at offlane Centaur, Lich Nyx +1 on the tri-lane, and then Mirana mid. Alright. The Vengeful Spirit snatched up by Team Bob Marley here, so they've got a fair amount of damage and a really nice tri-lane. I don't think they'll be running that aggressive, but they definitely could. They got the stun and the armor shred on Vengeful, which just makes Lifestealer's damage and presence go through the roof. As well as Visage. I mean, Visage is just always fantastic in every single situation. Solid Scepter, Grave Shield, whatever you need. Alright, so final set of bans coming out here. Tryhard Dota on their onto their ban. I'm trying to think of what they could get rid of here. Probably looking to get rid of an offlaner. Now, what Team Bob Marley would pick here, I don't know. Timbersaw is definitely a good ban. That's probably the ban. Could have been really nasty if that got on the board. Team Bob Marley gonna try to, like I said, it's really hard to draft against this draft right now because who knows what they're doing.
10 seconds remaining.
I think actually another support might be in the pool for THD. They might run that Centaur Lich +1 on a tri-lane, put the Nyx on the off-lane, and then Mirana mid. Jeez. This draft is just crazy. They do get rid of the Weaver, so just fearing that, and understandably so. We'll see. Their strategy will be revealed with this pick, I believe. We'll see. Okay, TA. So TA is going to be mid.
Team pick.
Tia is going to be mid. Nyx off lane. Support Centaur? Support Mirana? Whew. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I'm still clueless. I think they'll probably throw Nyx towards a support role this game. Put Centaur on the off lane. Support Nyx, Lich, and Mirana. Get the one position Mirana, lead up to the arrows with the impales, and try to make fights happen that way. I have a feeling it's going to be a safe lane Mirana, though, instead of trying to go aggro. Usually when you draft a Mirana, you want to put her on an aggressive lane, but in this situation, I think it's probably going to be a lot smarter to put her on a safe lane. Just have the Lich deny the creeps, and then have the Nyx stacking and pulling, and then ganking around the map. Meanwhile, I do believe it'll be a safe tri lane for Team Bob Marley as well. As well as Lifestealer works in an aggro try, I think he thrives when he has farm, and that will be what they're going to be aiming for here. But that TA going to be really, really nasty, and I'm almost tempted to say that they should pick up something to shut that down, whether that be a Dazzle mid or Viper's out of the pool, but something else that does a little bit of damage over time. I'm trying to think of what that could be, even like a Darkseer mid or something like that. Then put Invoker on the off lane. I think that's probably their best bet. They do pick up a Necrophos. Now, curious about this.
Dire team pick.
What are they gonna do with Necro, man? Are they gonna put Necro mid? Invoker offlane? Or Necro offlane, maybe. I don't know. This is some weird drafts. I'm really curious to see how this is gonna play out. And we will be finding out in just a moment here as we wait for the Templar Assassin to be grabbed up. Alright, so getting in the game here, we got a smoke purchase right off the bat by the Nyx Assassin. I don't know if he's going to go aggressive right off the bat, but we'll see. Anyways, so, Tiburon, going to be playing on the mid. Templar Assassin, whatever, on his Nyx Assassin. He's been playing that a lot. And then the Centaur Warrunner, going to be played on the offlane by Katso Kawaii. So, I'm not going to introduce the other two players because they got stupid names. HY Love Story. Going to be playing on that Lifestealer. Heading up towards the top lane. Swim to the Moon. Going to be playing on that Visage. I forgot to change my overlay. There we go. Goldie. Going to be playing on the Vengeful Spirit. The mid lane, we got Jude Law on the Invoker. And then down on bottom, we've got Agent 00420. How original. So Necro's heading to the offlane. He's been given. Well, he's. Oh god. Oh god. First blood incoming. They're looking for this. It's gonna be nasty. Oh, this is a roaming Mirana. She's picked up boots, so she's gonna be just moving along around the map. The Templar Assassin gonna be mid, and then I think this is gonna be an aggressive tri lane. But they have dodged this aggressive tri lane by hitting, shooting the Lifestealer up towards top. And I don't know if they purposefully dodged that tri lane, but it's dodged nonetheless. So the Necrophos spots this out, and so they know it's there, and I think he's going to be playing a little bit safer, but as he moves up with the creeps, they might still catch him out. So we'll have to keep an eye on him, as this Necro is potentially going to be the first blood. Lots of pings coming out. Top lane, though. Venge being really careful not to reveal her position. They do pop off a smoke, and she will grab that haste rune. Now this could be first blood on mid, actually. Oh, never mind. I said we had to keep an eye on the Necro, and I didn't. But yeah, exactly what we expected to happen happens, and he does fall. Up in mid, though, potential first blood here as second blood here, as TA did go for refraction level 1, so she should be able to withstand it if she sees it coming. But if she doesn't, Magic Missile could land, and we could see him in a lot of trouble. The Lifestealer is up top. That was pinged out. The Mirana knows, and they're going on mid now. Magic Missile gonna fly. They catch out the TA. She doesn't have refraction stacks right now. The Grave Chill is up, going for it, dishing out a lot of damage. Are they gonna manage to finish this off? Nyx gets a really good impale. Actually, only catches one, but the tower is gonna finish off that Vengeful Spirit, and she drops. Nyx now causing a lot of trouble here, dishing out damage onto the Invoker, and he's not gonna have a great time here. Is he gonna get impaled? Yes, he does. Dropping really low. I don't know if he's actually gonna die. Eats up a Tango. Now turn this back around on the Nyx. He's going to be able to get himself up to high ground and be just fine. But 2 points up on THD already. And this is not looking good. Not looking good. Trying to make the big plays as Team Bob Marley, and just not quite there. Invoker getting harassed out quite a bit by this Mirana, who's just on his biscuits left and right. And I mean, he's going to need some support in this lane to be able to stay in. The Vengeful Spirit is there now to help him out, but not going to do great. Necrophos down on the bottom lane. He's trying to find whatever he can. He's going to go drop this ward over here and hopefully keep himself a little bit safe. little bit safer. Now we talked about this during the first game that I casted today, but Invoker and TA trade pretty evenly back and forth. Both heroes dish out a fair amount of damage, right, in pretty much all regards. And so what it really comes down to in that lane is whoops. What the heck? Oh, I was screwing that up. There we go. Okay, so yeah, they trade pretty evenly, but what really matters is the rune control and the ganks that come in. So it's really easy to shut down either hero if you get them ganked up and shut down early on. So I think it's really going to be the focus of well, it should be the focus of both of these teams to really ensure that their mid lane is won. We did see a couple ganks coming out really early on, but I don't know if it's enough. And we kind of have a dual lane setup going up here for Team Bob Marley as they've rotated the Visage down to help out that Necrophos and give them a little bit of support, but that also leaves the Lifestealer and the Vengeful Spirit up alone together. Now Templar Assassin grabs herself a double damage rune, and this is going to help her out in this lane a lot. Like I said, rune control is very, very key in this matchup. Down bottom, Centaur has phase boots already, so between that first blood and the farm that he's been getting, he's doing all right. Sitting third highest on the CS charts, just one behind the Lifestealer, and then another couple behind the Templar Assassin. Now attacks getting traded pretty evenly there. He gets up in their face and dishes out whatever damage he can to the Necrophos, but auto attacks turn that back around and drop him pretty low. So it's kind of interesting. No. It's cool how this game kind of turned into duo lanes, but yeah. Nick's hanging off the wing, constantly looking for a place to jump in, but just not going to find it. Oh man. Mirana taking a good chunk of damage there as Lifestealer runs for it, gets the open wounds off, but she's going to turn that back around and throw out whatever harassment she can. Meanwhile, Nick's coming in from the side, and Templar Assassin does have a haste rune. With that double damage popped off, she could very easily secure a kill on Invoker here. He might have Ghost Walk if he's lucky, but or if he's fast enough on the draw, but I think if she pops off this haste rune and just runs at him, she could at least burst him for half his health or more if before he manages to get anything done. Traps her up, she's looking for it. And potential action up here on the top lane as Venge finds himself in a bad position, gets the magic missile out on the Mirana, and what the hell, man? What the hell? Okay, this is, I don't know. I don't know if a lot of you have frequented my stream much, but I've got this thing. And it's almost like a disease. And basically, whenever I'm casting a game with a Lifestealer, I always call him Invoker for God knows what reason. Heroes are nothing alike. I mean, one's melee, one's ranged, the other's a zombie, the other's a mage. It's like, there could not be two more opposite heroes. And yet, for some reason, Invoker and Lifestealer just get mixed up in my brain. And so, calling out that Lifestealer's doing stuff, it's Invoker. No, I don't get it, man. I don't know why I do it, I just do it, but yeah. Lifestealer tried to turn it back around on Mirana, cause whatever damage she could, but she manages to get herself out. As TA is still just sitting on that haste rune. Now, when we watched when we watched Tiburon playing the Templar Assassin earlier today, he did not go for a blink dagger. He went straight into Yasha. I think it was phase boots into Midas. Actually, no, it was brown boots into Midas into phase boots into Yasha. And so he just had the high movement speed TA build, and we've got Moonlight Shadow popped off, and they were very smart about this. Up top, Nyx backed off to the point where he was out of the fog, so they don't know that this is happening. But now this could be a lot of trouble. Yeah, slows up on both heroes. Mirana jumps forward, looking for this double edge, will secure the kill on Necrophos, but he's Visage turns it back around, gets a kill on Lich, and so 2-for-1 trade. Not terrible, but definitely not a trade that Team Bob Marley wishes upon themselves. They only got a support in exchange for their core offlaner and their support. top. Lifestealer farming alright. He's only 2 behind the TA. He's just been last hitting like a boss, and so 36 and 34. Following them up is the 27 and 20 of the Centaur and Marana, respectively. Necrophos and Invoker both sitting at 14, so not doing as well, but hopefully they can start to get a little bit better as we go along. A little bit of a scuffle down here, but both teams just going to walk away from that. Alright, no big problem. Now, TA, she bought something. What'd she buy? What'd you buy? Hand of Midas. Alright, so yeah, she's got the Midas coming up, going for the same build that she went for yesterday. Well, not yesterday, earlier today. But, yeah, Refraction getting popped off there. So now I got that Midas coming up to her. She's actually going to send the courier back. Nyx was trying to jack it up, but yeah, she gets her Midas. We'll have that coming out to her. Alright, Lifestealer feeling he's a little bit too low. TP's back to base. I think in that scenario it would have been a lot better to just have a TP scroll and a salve brought up to yourself from the courier. He's missing out on a lot of EXP by not being in this lane. And I mean, with the 300 health he had, he could have maneuvered around to here, hidden the trees, done something, and raged if he got in trouble. But, oh man, we got the Centaur ulti popped off. They're jumping on the Necro, and with that Frost Blast popped off, he is going to fall. Now looking for that Visage, and he's dishing out a lot of damage. Avenge is going to come in, and Visage actually did get the kill on Centaur, but both getting traded there. Now looking for that Lich. The open wounds is up, and as Lich chases for the Venge, he is picked off by the Lifestealer. So good rotations there by Team Bob Marley. Turn that situation back around in their favors. But I mean, they're still down 3-7, and this is looking a little bit scary for him. They really need to get this Lifestealer some farm, and if he can make it into the mid to late game with a decent amount of farm and a good amount of kills under his belt, he should be able to make a huge impact in this game. I think a real problem for Team Bob Marley, though, is going to be that Templar Assassin. There isn't really any reliable way of stripping off refraction charges, but you do have, I mean, you can just attack her a lot, but I mean, that's a lot of attacks that she's going to be able to get back on you, and you don't have a shield. Either way, pressure in on the tier 1 tower up at top. Creep Wave's going to come in and distract dire creeps, but to leap forward from the Marana, and they're going to be looking for this. Good Impale catches her out, arrow going to land, and oh man, with a magic wand, the Necrophos survives it. They do manage to pick off the Nyx, and with the Moonlight Shadow, Marana will run herself away from this, but she could be in trouble if she's not... Okay, yeah, she's just going to TP in the trees. And that's a cool little nook to hide in. Every time I see people come down here, they just hook back around and see if they can like TP over here or something. But that's a nice little tree spot. I'm going to have to keep that in mind. Meanwhile, Lich kills Lifestealer. So he got himself just a little bit too far forward, didn't have creeps to infest into, and gets caught out. And yeah, Frost Blast, was that used? No, that's a 200, or that's a 150 second gold. That was not used. Marana looks like she's going for a Midas as well. When we saw THD running this lineup earlier, the Marana went for a Midas and got herself into the late game pretty reliably later on. But yeah, interesting. I don't see many Maranas build Midases anymore. Not since that like week where everybody built Midas. Trap going out on the Necrophos. TA is going to want to make this happen, but gets swapped out. And Ben's going to save up Necro for now. Anyways, Hastering up, looking for Invoker. He's going to run in. Trap pops off, and it does actually catch Invoker. Now, looking for him, he does Ghost Walk away, and so Tia is going to be able to get herself out of that. Alright, but forced Invoke there, and a lot of last hits missed by the Invoker because of it. Now, arrow going to fly towards Ro8. Does hit it. Are they going for Ro8 this early? Really? Okay. Alright, this is kind of cool. Use Refraction to tank up the Ro8. What are they going to do? Centaur just going to... Alright. Cool. I hope they can do that. Arrow flying in from Marana is going to help them finish that off, and this is really cool. I don't think I've ever seen Ro8 taken this early by 2 people. Actually, I've seen some gimmicky lineups do it, but the way they're doing this is really cool. They have the Marana sitting in the mid lane, throwing in the arrows. Meanwhile, Templar Assassin is tanking with the refraction charges, and then Centaur is taking whatever hits he needs to. So they're going to get an 11-minute Ro8 with 2 heroes, and Templar Assassin has the Aegis. Now this is going to be trouble for Team Bob Marley. I mean, this is serious trouble. This is like Oh my god, we are going to get roasted, and certainly enough, there is a sentry ward down, so they're going to see that TA coming in, but too friggin' late. Lich gets the kill on the Visage as a double edge and an Ice Blast land on him at the exact same time. Or that's Frost Blast, that is Chain Frost, sorry. I keep screwing those two spells up. Oh man. Birds getting caught out on top. Nyx looking for that Necro. Is he going to find him?
Dire's top tower is under
Now or never, buddy. There he goes. Lands the Impale. Mana burn. Couple more attacks. Is he going to finish him off? No, not the case. Nyx going to run himself away for now. Run on Invoker. Trading attacks. Mid. Well, down on bottom. Templar Assassin running forward. The Blink Stomp does not hit. Invoker rages anyways. He's mad. Mad about that. Yeah. Tier 1 going to feel a little bit of pressure, but Creep Wave denied off and not going to have anything there to continue pushing with. Tia's going to go finish up that camp. She might have that earlier, so there's only one creep left, and another creep died somewhere along the lines, but yeah, I'm really curious to look at the net worths right now. Yeah, they really early on, these aren't quite reflective of how the game's been playing out. Top 3 net worth are all on the side of the Dire Heroes, and Lifestealer's falling pretty shortly behind that Mirana, but I mean, when the offlane Centaur and the mid lane TA are worth more than your Lifestealer, that is a problem, and it's going to be something they have to deal with. And I'm not quite sure what their game plan is for this mid game because they don't have great team fight. I mean, Necrophos is decent in team fights, and so is Lifestealer, but I mean, I think they're... Oh man, he turned this back around. Sentry Ward's dropped, looking for the Nyx, but the Centaur ulti is going to get him out of that. Now they turn it back around, Blink double edge, and with the Reaper Scythe, he will finish off the Centaurs. So Vengeful Spirit and Centaur traded for each other, but could have been a lot uglier on both sides. 10-5 now is score, and THD just really asserting their dominance. Like I said, they've been really strong this whole tournament through and haven't dropped a single game. And Team Bob Marley, I mean, they were the winners of the Hive Beta Cup, or Alpha Cup rather. Oh my god, that tower didn't even get denied. Now the TA is in the middle of all this, looking for the Lifestealer. He does infest, tries to run away, and TA can pop off a trap, slow him down. The drums are off though. Is he going to manage to get himself out of this? He's going to run through the trees, try to juke his way out of this. But oh my god, does he turn it back around? No. Melt Strike going to finish it off. Arrow going to fly. Not going to hit on the Invoker. One more kill going the way of THD. However, they did pick up the Lich on the bottom lane. Now Nyx in the middle of all this. Dust popped off really early though, and the Magic Missile going to hit. Impale going to catch out this Visage, and he's going to fall. Really unfortunate trade there, but Tiburon grabs himself another kill. 2,600 gold in the bank. 2 kills in almost 80 last hits. He is sitting right at the top of the net worth chart, and he's been playing exceptionally well today. On bottom, Invoker hiding in the trees. Centaur moving forward. He's going to spot out that Venge, and bye-bye, Vengeful. Yep. Double Edge and an Impale. We'll finish that off. Nyx did get the kill. I think that was actually the damage on the way back down from the Impale that actually finished that off. But anyways, now, what the heck? We got a TP coming in from the from the Visage, and that was not smart. He just get finished off. Meanwhile, Invoker trying to run himself away on the back line, but he does get toasted as well. So 4 heroes down on the bottom lane. Do pick off another 2, and Vengeance was dead before, so only 2 heroes alive. GG? What? They're not even going to play it out? Oh, man. Yeah, you want to talk about dominant. They just called it GG. Team Bob Marley lets it go there. And, wow. P252, also known as THD, they're undefeated. They're undefeated. Heading into the semifinals, team undefeated. That is crazy. They're going to be contesters, or they're going to be good contestants for that top spot here in the Hive Beta Cup. What an exciting game, and unfortunately it didn't get played out, but yeah, I think the GG might have been the right call there because they didn't have fantastic late game, and considering how dominant that P252 was early on, I don't know if there was coming back from that, but anyways, yeah, they're going to call it. That's pretty surprising, but you know, nonetheless, that's how she rolls. So, anyways, that is it for my coverage of the Hive Beta Cup for tonight. Tomorrow I will be back with the semifinals and the finals, and in the finals I will be casting with the Jerax of the Cupid Red Pandas and Dota 1 fame. So definitely check that out. my channel right here, twitch.tv/Cptn.Canuck. I can't quite recall the times on that. Let me actually rip this open and take a peek. Whoopsies. That should not be on the screen. Alright, we got our spreadsheet up here. Sunday, games begin at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 11 o'clock for us Pacific people over here. So definitely check that out. Be back tomorrow. I have been Cptn.Canuck. If you enjoy my casting, please throw me a follow on Twitch. And you can also check me out at youtube.com/Cptn.Canuck and twitter.com/Cptn.Canuck. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow. Cheers.